Frustrated with testing? Need a candle recipe that works? Hi and welcome! Today I'm sharing my best-selling candle recipe for cotton wicks. If you're new here, I'm Kimberly Patterson, candle artist and founder of TGG Two Girly Girls Candle Design. I specialize in sublimated and engraved candles, and I love helping other makers create candles that look amazing and burn beautifully. Whether you're just getting started or knee-deep in the testing phase, there's one thing you should know about candle making. The testing process takes time, and I mean a lot of time. For me, it took a full 12 months of testing different waxes, wicks, and vessels to find the perfect combination that worked. But trust me, once you get it right, it's so worth it. As we go through this recipe, I'll explain why I chose each of the supplies I use, what worked, what didn't, and how it all came together for a clean, consistent burn. This video is specifically for cotton wick candles, but if you're curious about my wood wick formula, I've got a separate video just for that, so be sure to check it out. Alright, let's dive in. The very first thing you should decide on is the candle vessel you're going to use. That's because wax, fragrance, and wick combinations behave differently depending on the vessel. I chose Makesy vessels because I love the look, sleek and sophisticated. Plus, they offer free shipping, run lots of sales, and the jars work beautifully with both sublimation and engraving. Of course, when I was starting out, I had no idea I'd end up sublimating or engraving my candles. But the great thing is, I never had to switch vessels once I leveled up my candle game. That was a huge relief. We are going to use two 730 Premier wicks bought from Black Tie Barn. I tried Eco Wicks, CD Wicks, and a few others, and this wick works the best with my chosen wax. No soot, clean, fuss-free burn. I use Norden centering tools to center my wicks. It works like a charm every time. There is nothing more important than centering your wicks, and I don't like to take any chances. For a test to be accurate, your wicks have to be centered. Funny story, I went into a boutique store once, and the candle they were selling had an obvious off-centered wick. When I questioned the owner about it, she said, "It didn't matter." My daughter was with me, so I did not embarrass her by mentioning that I was a candle maker, and it did indeed matter. When wicking a 14-ounce Aura vessel, you will need 2 wicks to get the right melting pool. I tried one, and it never worked, at least for my cotton wicks. Wood wicks are a different story, as you are able to get away with 1 wick. After you wick your candle, Norden also sells a tool to hold them in place while you pour and cure. Okay, let's talk about fragrance. I use 1 ounce of fragrance in my candle recipe, but it is okay if it goes a little over. My wax has a 12% fragrance load, but I find between 7 and 8% smells amazing. I use fragrances from Flaming Candle, like this one, Pink Grapefruit. My best-selling fragrances from Flaming Candle are Lemon Verbena, Vanilla Birch, Lemon Pound Cake, and Lavender Vanilla. I also use fragrances from Black Tie Barn and Sensory. If you would like some suggestions, please make a comment and I will share my favorites. 1 ounce of fragrance for my 14-ounce candle is all it takes. Now let's talk about my wax choice. After testing many different waxes, including soy and coconut, I settled on the Apricot Cocoa Creme Wax from Makesy. This is why. I didn't like mixing fragrance at 190 and then having to wait for it to cool to 130 to pour. I also didn't like waiting 2 weeks to test. I choose this wax because it always has smooth tops. I pour right after I mix the fragrance, no waiting, it cures in 72 hours and has a great cold and hot throw. Sometimes I see candle makers in the testing process complain that their scent does not smell. It's probably not the fragrance, it might be the wax. I also like free shipping on this wax, and I usually get it at 20% off during a sale. Now let's make a candle. Heat wax to 190 degrees. Measure fragrance. Add wax to beaker up to 400 grams, which is equivalent to 14 ounces. Stir for 2 minutes. Pour immediately, let cure for 72 hours, and we have a beautiful candle with a smooth top, smells amazing, and burns beautifully. Screenshot the recipe and you're all set. Please put any questions you have in comments. I respond to everyone and I'm happy to share my recipe secrets. See you next time on The Candle Artist Way. My guide is coming soon. If you want it at cost, comment, book. Below, and I will send you a link to get on the waiting list. You will be notified on release day.